In this video, breaking news. The Iranian president is calling for a national Bitcoin mining strategy, and according to this article, Iran already owns about 4% of the Bitcoin hash rate. Is this the biggest Bitcoin news we've gotten on a national level? Well, let's talk about this. And also, US jobless claims totaled 2.4 million last week, and they say in this article that this is a declining pace from previous weeks. That sounds very good, but I want to show you how this article is extremely misleading. And in the Bitcoin price, I want to take a look at the fact that Bitcoin is still in this healthy uptrend, getting supported by this support line. However, what happens if Bitcoin breaks this level? Well, I'm going to show you this target all the way down here, because this is exactly what could happen if Bitcoin breaks this key support level. And if you think that sounds interesting, then I think that you should definitely watch this video. Hello guys, and welcome to the moon. My name is Carl and I'm going to bring you this Bitcoin video. And yesterday I mentioned that the 10.5k level is the level to break for the bulls, and the $8,000 level is the level to break for the bears. But I do in this video want to show you this upwards trending support level, which is also a very important key support. Why? Well, we have seen many touches on this level, actually 2, 3, and then 4 times, and basically now we are testing it once again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times we've now tested this support level, and the big question is, of course, will Bitcoin be able to get supported here and come up and test this important resistance at 10.5k, or will we actually come down here and test the $8,000 level? And if we zoom in a little bit, this is the daily time frame, and we can see that this level is approximately here at $8.8 thousand. So if Bitcoin breaks down below 8.8k here in the next couple of days, then we have broken then this upwards trending support line. So if Bitcoin breaks this level, then I think that of course we will be able to test the $8,000 level. But actually, I would say that if we break this upwards trending support, then it is quite likely that Bitcoin might actually come down and also break the $8,000 level, because the $8,000 level is of course a significant level, but it's not gonna be as significant as this yellow one, I guess, because we did see, of course, some significance since way back here from 8,000, and we know that 8k is a level that has been it's a round even number, so only that alone is a big thing, but it's not as significant, in my opinion, as this yellow line that we've seen many touches. All right, so if we do break down below this yellow line and also break down below this $8,000 level, then I have to realize that I think that we need to expect a bigger sell-off here, and I want to show you where I think that we might come down to. And first off, I want to show you the daily moving averages. And just as a side note, also we can also see that Bitcoin is right now breaking the 20 daily moving average. That is a bearish sign. Usually when we do that, we see a bear trend emerge, and when we break above it, we usually see a bull trend emerge. So this is a small other bearish sign here, but we have seen a couple of fake outs also. Here we broke down below it but broke straight back above it, and here we have 2 examples of breaking below it and then straight back above it. So I guess we have 1 or 2 more days here for Bitcoin to back test the 20 and come back above it again. But if that is not successful, then it does look quite bearish, and Bitcoin might indeed be heading in for this bearish scenario. We can see that the 200 daily moving average, this red line, is converging with the orange line, which is the 100, and then we see the 50, which is this green line, crossing above both of these levels. So we have a big confluence of these moving averages being in this cluster here, where the 100, the 200, and the 50 are all converging in this same little point here. And interestingly, it lines up perfectly with this $8,000 level. So I guess that gives a little bit more credibility to the $8,000 level. not because of the $8,000 level itself, but because of the moving averages coming in here on the daily time frame. So that should provide us with some support, but this also gives us even more reason to be bearish if Bitcoin actually breaks this $8,000 level, because that means that we're breaking all of these key moving averages. We can see that right there, when Bitcoin broke back above 8,000 and this 200 daily, we saw this big, very, very bullish candle. So why not expect the exact same to the downside if we were to break this key level? But let's now go to the weekly time frame, because that's where I really want to put some attention right now. So I think that if we were to break the $8,000 level, then I think most likely Bitcoin is going to go quite bearish, and I will be looking for a retest of the 200 weekly moving average, this red line all the way down here. And it is currently sitting at approximately 5.8 thousand. However, let's say this takes a few weeks, which it will, then maybe this moving average will be at approximately $6,000 to $6,200. That's what I would expect. So essentially, we could have the Bitcoin price in a bearish scenario come all the way down here. That would be a 32% sell-off. But so far, I'm still bullish as long as Bitcoin is above this yellow support line, and I still could remain hopeful as long as Bitcoin is above the 200 daily moving average. But if we break the $8,000 level and the 200 daily, then I'm sorry to say it, but I would have to turn bearish here. And you know me, guys, I try to always stay objective. Of course, everyone wants Bitcoin to go to the moon tomorrow and next week, but if the charts turn on us, which is possible, then we have to change our buys. But still, I am bullish because we are looking bullish. Bitcoin is in an uptrend. Remember, the trend is your friend. So the summary here is that we should stick to the trend because we are in a bull trend and we should remain bullish. But I would also be a little bit cautious until we break the 10.5k level. But if we do break 10.5k, then I will go on a full-on bullish mode, and I would expect much higher prices. But as long as we're below 10.5k, I still think that this bearish scenario could play out. Let me also remind you that Bitcoin is below key resistance here, or actually tested resistance and came back down below it again. So that's also a small little bearish sign. So yeah, let me know down below what you guys think. But I think that in the short term we are bullish. However, in the longer time frame, we are still getting lower highs here. As you can see, these are lower highs. So let's remain bullish, but in a very cautious manner, because I think that it could shift any minute here. So let's be prepared for the bullish scenario and the bearish scenario. And as a trader, you don't have to know what scenario will play out. You just have to be very quick to react when one scenario actually does play out. Next up, very bullish news from Iran. Iranian president calls for national crypto mining strategy. That's an unusual title. We have not seen this kind of thing happen on a national level before. So let's take a quick look at this article and what this is all about. Here you have the Iranian President Hassan Rouhani. So it says here that Iranian President Hassan Rouhani has ordered the government to draw up a renewed national approach for the emerging crypto industry. Chairing Iran's Economic Coordination Headquarters, a seminar for the National Economic Strategy earlier this week, Rouhani told officials from the Central Bank of Iran, Energy Department, and Information and Communication Technology Ministries that they need to devise a new national strategy for crypto mining, including regulation and mining revenue. And it also says here that just months ago, the administration of US Donald Trump raised concerns that Iranians were using digital assets in order to circumvent sanctions. This is something that I think is going to be much more common in the future, because Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general are the perfect way to circumvent sanctions and political restrictions on money and value transfers around the world. This is something that not only individuals will take advantage of, but also corporations and even countries. We do see a lot of sanctions around the world, especially from the US. The United States has basically weaponized the dollar as the world reserve currency. They have weaponized it, and basically they can use these political restrictions and sanctions to to bully other countries. And this is a reason why we should not let one country have the control of the world reserve currency, because that gives too much power to one specific country. And somehow you could say that it's one man having all this power, because the president of the United States has so much power. So yeah, it's not a very good thing to centralize power in that way. It would be better to have Bitcoin as the world reserve currency, where no one is in control and there is no political color to transfers or to restrictions. There is no way you can basically manipulate Bitcoin in that way. So this is one of the many reasons why I think Bitcoin is going to be much more valuable in the future, because we will see countries and many people use it as an antidote to the US dollar standard. And it also says here that Iran was one of the first countries to officially recognize cryptocurrency mining as a legitimate industry back in July 2019. The government now issues mining licenses, giving companies the right to mine and then sell off any digital asset produced. An industry report in January said Iran had issued over 1,000 such licenses in its first 6 months. And look at this. It also says here that Iran currently has a 4% share in Bitcoin's total hash rate, according to the Bitcoin mining map, more than double what it was at the beginning of September 2019, so just a few months ago. And next up, I found this article very interesting, because it says here that jobless claims total 2.4 million in the United States last week, still elevated levels, but a declining pace from previous weeks. And that's a very nice way to put it, a declining pace from previous weeks. I want to show you how ludicrous it is to use this kind of wording, because it sounds like we are getting a declining rate of unemployment, but that's just not the case. It's the exact opposite. So down here we can see initial claims since early March top 38 million. So here we have the Great Recession of 2008, and here you can see how the massive spike we're seeing now is way worse than anything we've seen before, way worse than the Great Depression. And here you have the weekly claims in 2020. And here we have this big unusual spike when we saw the big fear start, when the financial crisis started, and then we saw every week being another new disaster. And the interesting part is that, of course, we see a declining pace in the jobless claims, but every new bar here does not mean that we're going down in numbers. It's the opposite. It's going up in numbers still. But when you look at statistics this way, you could be fooled into believing that we're getting a decrease in jobless claims. Why? Yeah, like I just said, it's the exact opposite. Every new bar just adds to the jobless claims. And now we're seeing this small bar here, and it seems like stock markets and researchers and journalists are taking this as a good sign. But this yellow spike here does nothing else than represent yet another couple of million of people that are unemployed, and that's a bad thing. That's not a good thing. Let's not try to make it sound better than what it is. But it seems like people are too invested in stocks and real estate. People don't want the world economy to crash and burn. And we know that the Fed also is doing everything they can to keep the economy from crumbling, as they are printing currency out of nothing in historical levels. And the Fed is not alone. We also see the ECB and all the other central banks of the world join in the party and printing currency like never before. And guys, I really enjoy to see your comments and your likes below my videos. It really makes me super happy. Thank you for the huge amount of likes I got on yesterday's video. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And if you haven't seen this video, then click right there right now, and I will see you guys tomorrow.